Hello, lovely to see you. Hope that you survived the COVID-19 pandemic and life is becoming a little bit more normalised. I'm going to quickly update you on progress with the local plan, which has been moving on. As you were aware, the inspector, Mr. Phillips, had actually made a number of modifications, amendments and deletions to the plan that was being worked on. One deletion that he made was the logistics park at Innocence Farm, but he also made some changes of numbers and other issues. Now, as a result of his changes, the consultation on that delivered 554 concerns and queries from 244 people. He is working through those, but they in their entirety have now been put onto East Suffolk District Council's website on the local plan review. So if you want to see what the specific issues raised by various people were, it's available for your perusal there, and that was loaded into the system today. What will happen thereafter is, assuming the inspector doesn't find any particular issue that needs him to do further modifications, the whole local plan amended will be passed to the East Suffolk District Council Cabinet for them to consider and move for adoption. And if they do that and the Secretary of State signs it off, it's hoped that we will have our second and final Suffolk Coastal local plan available to the community come the autumn of 2020. So that's the state of the local plan. What has happened in the interim period is the new government has decided that it would like to drastically modify, or I suppose tear up, the planning system which was introduced back in 1947, and it would appear they wish to make radical changes to it to provide speedier, quicker, and they are claiming more housing that younger folk could afford. And that's one of the claims. There seems to be a deal of contention about what's proposed, because what they're looking to do is to categorise land as being one of three types. It will be either growth, renewal or protect, and that means that local authorities all over the land, well, England at least, will have to go out there and look at the land and designate it one of those three categories. And it would appear, once that is actually categorised in that manner, then you and I and the neighbours next to a development, if it's in a growth area, actually will have very little say on what happens within and about our community. So this will be running for a 12-week consultation starting last week. It will then, assuming that the consultation leads to an actual full government paper, it will need to make its way through the Houses of Parliament, both of them, and eventually passed into law. And then apparently 30 months later, the government is looking for every local authority to have produced this protect, renew or growth in the area in which you live. So all I'm saying to you, we'll probably see you in about 5 years' time where the arguments will be raging. A quick update on the planning for the future, recent release by the Local Government Association, that they state from their statistics that 90%, over 90% of all planning applications are actually approved by local authorities, planning committees around the country. They have obviously a very much local knowledge, local interest related to what is happening in the local area. The delay in getting approval relates very much to the physical size of the development that's being considered. Normally those below 500 or 1,000 are approved within a year, and I think if you're around 3,000 to 4,000 you may be 4 to 5 years. So one would assume that in the bigger the scheme, the more people are involved: education, health, roads, water, the whole gamut. It's a much bigger undertaking, so therefore of necessity more parties involved, it will take longer to deliver. So really, if Parliament approves this new move towards growth, renewal or protect, I can see us being here in this studio in 4 to 5 years' time, questioning whether a lot of the sites that are actually been approved for growth or renewal are in the community's interest. And just one last point, being here, there's been a long, hard battle that's taken place over the last, 2 or 3 years on Innocence Farm, which was to use prime farmland for a logistics park. That, in the local plan here, the inspector decided that it was unnecessary, unneeded, and certainly shouldn't be located in the position that the developer was looking to have it placed. So if we were to have this growth, renewal and protect, where do you think the or the category of the land in which the logistics park would have been categorised on? I'll leave that thought with you. Bye bye.